Ladies and gentlemen, we have definitive proof that Gavin Newsom is an actual sociopath. Adam Carolla has conducted something that may even, dare I say, be the cure for TDS. What he did is in his infamous viral clip of him interviewing Gavin Newsom almost 13 years ago. I'm going to share that clip with you first. What he did was he substituted himself for an AI version of like an NPR, basically a leftist reporter, and then substituted the character or voice of Gavin Newsom. So the words are exactly the same. The transcription of that infamous viral interview of Carolla torching Newsom and exposing him for the lying, sniveling, ooze-filled snake that he is, the American psycho, and used one of the most masculine representations in pop culture for Gavin Newsom in the form of Burt Reynolds. The original interview, this was back in March 1st of 2013, almost 13 years ago. And then this is kind of a cool sort of Aristotelian psychological sort of experiment, if you will, hypotheses, if you will. And maybe kind of play this at home too, play along, see how your own political biases or your own kind of the human condition, essentially, how that plays into this. So let's play the first interview where it's just Carolla. It's a beautiful clip if you haven't seen it, torching Newsom about homelessness and so much more, and how he plays the race card. And then I'm going to play for you the clip where he conducted this amazing experiment. But first, watch this.
Have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Well, why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know why those groups, why those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that. We can talk
they're
about
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot
why
of new
are they
immigrants.
Struggling?
A lot of different reasons. Lack of
Hispanics
opportunity.
Have been here. Blacks have been here longer than we've been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah, in fact it all initiated out of San Francisco. And the Chinese Exclusion Act came out.
So
of progressive San Francisco.
Are they the check cashing
places? A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you conclude them?
The only reason why is the magnitude.
There's so many more.
The magnitude in percentage.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure, why would you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case, because I want to deal with reality. No.
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of people that are struggling, people are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way. Why are they
struggling and suffering?
I don't want an idea. We can hold hands and surmise about all these underlying reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and
because they're working.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomic.
Okay, so everybody's
struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks.
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
It's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them.
Caucasian, it's a lot of folks
we're all
in society.
struggling.
That was almost 13 years ago, America. Does he sound different? Has he improved? Has he changed? Has he evolved? Has he become more sincere? Has he grown as a human being, as a man? Has he developed any new skills, any new ways of dealing with problems, any solutions? We're number one in homelessness. We're number one in unemployment. We're number one in taxes. We're number one in illegal border crossings. I mean, we're number one in issuing commercial driver's licenses, CDLs, to illegal aliens. Has he at all gotten better through the years? This guy's been a lifelong abysmal failure. You have to vote no on 50. California, I love you with all my heart. If you want to see our golden state return to goldenness, there's only one option. We cannot let this vermin power grab. You have to vote no on 50. Okay, I'm done. Okay, so here is the altered version of that. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. Check this out right here.
Right.
So I grabbed this 3-minute clip and I got with Joe and I said, let's get rid of my voice and get rid of his voice. And by the way, make me a woman who's interviewing him and just make him a dude. And let's hear what that would sound like.
It's awesome.
But then he ran across Burt Reynolds' voice. Joey did when he was. Oh, you know, I never look at this picture. He's got the state of Florida embroidered on his hat, doesn't he? Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's a big Florida guy. Went to FSU.
I know he's a big Florida guy, but in this movie, he's in Georgia and Smoking the Bandit. But anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. Never noticed that.
I never noticed he had a Florida hat. Anyway, I know he's a big Florida guy. There's a movie called Gator, for Christ's sake. So I said, why don't we just have Burt Reynolds' AI voice be Gavin Newsom?
Yeah.
And my voice will be like, I said, like an NPR type of chick.
Yeah.
Like a nice,
I'm dying to hear
learned
this.
chick. And it's a weird little thought experiment. So this is, now none of the dialogue is altered at all. It's just
It's the exact
transcribed.
words.
It's
Yeah,
exact words. And I am the NPR chick and
This is
he's Burt
fantastic.
Reynolds. Here we go.
We got to do this
we
with
don't
everything.
know.
We do this with everything.
Well, it might work, it might not work, but I found
All right,
it
let's do it.
interesting. All right, let's listen.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't.
Why do Armenians have them?
But where they end up is a check cashing place.
But I want to know, why those groups? Why do those two groups not have access?
Just happens to be that we can talk about...
Are they flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically flawed?
Hardly. Absolutely not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
So it's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but it...
Well, why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be just the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and communities are struggling.
Why are they struggling?
A lot of different reasons.
Hispanics have been here, blacks have been here longer than we have been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah. In fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco. The Chinese Exclusion Act came out of progressive San Francisco.
So are they at the check cashing places?
A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you include them?
Because then the only reason why is the magnitude of the problem.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about, you know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure. Why would you? Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality.
You want to deal with reality? I can tell you what reality is.
People are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and why are they suffering?
We can hold hands and surmise about all these other reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomics.
So everybody is struggling?
Everybody is struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks?
The face of welfare is not an African-American family.
Oh, so it's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them?
Caucasian.
Okay, we're all struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay.
It's the best thing ever.
He does. It highlights the fact he doesn't know what the he's talking. He's not saying anything.
So it's almost unfathomable if anybody, and let's just do a free poll right now. Did you find that Newsom made more sense when it was actually Newsom and Adam Carolla in the original clip, when it was actually them? Or did you feel that it made more sense when you stripped away the inherent biases of the individuals and just looked at what the substance of what he was saying, if you could even call it substance? I mean, to me, it's a no. So let me know in the comments, like, which one did you feel your biases were more implicated, and which one do you feel was more effective in asserting the almost undeniable thesis that this guy is a raving lunatic sociopath who does not belong within a 500-yard stretch of the Oval Office? I would love to get your opinion on this. I think this is brilliant. And I think this just might, here's why I think this just might be a sort of vaccine for TDS. Because emotions are a high variable when the human condition, you cannot avoid. We are emotional, social, highly pathos driven species. We just are. And so you hear somebody or you see somebody that you already have a major emotional baggage of predetermined, pre-existing conditions, definitions, labels, et cetera, like you hear Trump, if you hear Trump say, I just cured cancer, right? Versus an NPR chick or whatever, or somebody who's tailored to somebody who comes across as credible to you, say, I just cured cancer. There's no doubt it's going to have a vast chasm of impact. You hear Trump say it and you have Trump derangement syndrome, your immediate reaction is going to be like, oh, bull, whatever. And that's a bunch of he's cheating. He's lying. NPR chick, right? And then vice versa too. If Obama came out and said, hey, we've got a solution for this, and you already have those pre-existing conditions versus somebody pick anybody, it doesn't matter. The reason why this could actually cure TDS is if you just strip away the biases, you strip away all of the baggage that we bring to every single context, every single scenario, and it's going to be a lot easier, in my humble opinion, to ascertain whether this is just a load of shit and a complete raving lunatic or not. Look at the substance, because the Democrats have this. By the way, this just came in, by the way, off the bulletin. The Democrat Party now has an approval rating, historic low, 16%. I still don't know who the 16% are, but 16%. That is the lowest approval rating in the history of American politics. I mean, it was historically low for a long time, but this is an all-time bottom of the barrel, dirt, gravel, dirt damp in the graveyard type of approval rating right here. They are toast. And there are many reasons why they have that abysmal rating, but I think the biggest thing is, and this is why on November 5th, 2024, the American people made their voices resoundingly clear, we're sick and tired of this crap, is because they make everything about race. They make everything about personal ad hominem attacks. They make everything about things that deal in emotionally charged issues. Like when they use that kind of language describing law enforcement officials just simply carrying out their orders. I've said this time and time again. Look, they're sweeping brown and black people, just like Corolla pointed out in that clip. Why are you making it? Why do you mention those two races? Why do Armenians have checking accounts? Why don't you make it about everything? And then he caught him in a bold-faced lie. They use this kind of emotionally charged language, rhetoric, policy. You can't even say policy. Just everything they do has no substance. That's why they have the lowest approval rating, because they can't talk about accomplishments. They can't talk about a track record because they don't have any. They have no solutions. They have no strategy. They have no vision. And they're scared to death that they might actually have to compete in the free market to get a real job. That's what this is all about. They can't win elections anymore, folks. Think about this. They can't win elections anymore with actual American citizens. So what did they do? They imported all of their voters in 2024, from 2020 to 2024. That was the plan, the great replacement theory, driven by Holly Weirdo, cabal, Soros, and Obama. I mean, Obama's the worst treasonous active sedition traitor this country's ever seen, ever. I mean, Benedict Arnold's got nothing on Obama. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about that. So this could be it. I would love to get your thoughts. I think this could be a cure for TDS. If you made it this far in the video, I have a couple of bonuses I want to share with you. First, I want to share this clip of Corolla completely destroying Newsom back in June of 2024 when it came to the COVID shutdowns. Listen to this.
Governor, why did you shut the beaches in California during COVID?
Yeah, I think we all were working on information at the time. We had no basis of deeply understanding the virus. I think they
So
did
you
the
didn't
same
know
thing. I know they
anything,
did the
so
same
why'd you
thing in
shut the
states
beaches?
like Florida.
If you didn't know anything, why'd you shut the beaches?
Well, we didn't know. Yeah, because people were concerned early in the pandemic. Information was coming out as it relates to how it was transferred, the disease, and people were cautious, trying to keep people alive. And I should say this,
So
Adam,
you
you
didn't
should
let
know
them
this
go in
on
the
health, wealth, and
sunshine and get
education.
vitamin
California
D
outperformed.
and exercise, so you shut the beaches. Okay. And you arrested a guy who was paddleboarding in the
on
bay.
health, wealth, and
Yeah, any
it's always
science
good to
behind
see
that?
Adam. And
Any science
we're
at
all
all
geniuses
behind
in
shutting
hindsight.
outdoor dining? Why'd you
We're all
shut down outdoor dining?
Go ahead, go.
Science?
It's good to see Adam.
Based on
So,
science
look,
you
at the
didn't
end
have?
of the day, the debate tonight.
It's not a debate. You shut
I'm
down
looking
outdoor
forward to the
dining.
debate,
You
the
canceled
compare and
businesses.
contrast
Had nothing
tonight.
to do with science.
All right, let him finish.
People,
Go ahead.
all right, go ahead.
All this happened with members of the Trump administration providing counsel and providing recommendations to states like mine, very much part of that Trump record as well.
He's got absolutely nothing, man. He is just a complete and utter snake. Oh, and now there's this new viral clip of this is just a real quick short one of him now saying that there's something wrong with Trump. He's got dementia. He's got a physical decline. When this is a guy who probably worked closer with Biden than any other governor in our union, who said this back in the day about Biden. Watch this.
I never had, period, full stop. I would be lying to you, and I won't lie to you, as it relates to the direct engagement I had with Joe Biden that ever suggested a cognitive decline.
This president appears unhinged, unmoored by reality and facts, seems listless. He seems, dare I say, in decline, cognitively and, dare I say, forgive me, perhaps unfair, physically.
Gavin Newsom's political life spans over 20 years. When he was mayor of San Francisco, he destroyed that city. He had an affair with his aide's wife, cheated on his wife. He's an adulterer, became governor. We have the #1 state in unemployment, homelessness, taxes, smash and grabs, crime. We have the #1 budget deficit. We had a $175 billion surplus not that long ago. It is now a deficit because he wants to fund the homelessness industrial complex. He wants to steal taxes from hardworking, tax-paying, law-abiding California residents. We're #1 in illegal crossings. We're #1 in exodus, which means small businesses, medium and large, and residents are leaving in droves. He's the single #1 salesman for U-Haul because of his policies. And this is the guy that Obama and the Holly Weirdo cabal is perhaps prepping to make a run in 2028. California, I love you. If you haven't already, please vote no on 50. And America, make this video go viral by tapping that thumbs up. It takes you 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds. Even if you're watching on your TV and your remote, please tap that thumbs up. We need America to see this. We won the battle on November 5th, 2024, but the war rages on. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. If you missed them, tap my face right here to subscribe, hit the bell notification, turn on all notifications so you never miss out. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.